Hi, my name is Ken Tabor and I'm glad to be here. Today, I'm working with Generative AI. Our goal is using ChatGPT to think about a book I enjoyed reading. My prompts will work with a reader's review of it on Amazon and the publisher's story synopsis. Watch how I use them to analyze what makes the book compelling, generate a hypothetical outline for a new book plot, a promotional social media campaign, and ask for coaching advice actually writing that book, and other things. I read a book over the summer called Sea of Tranquility. It's written by Emily St. John Mandel. It's a fantastic book, and I completely enjoyed it. After reading Sea of Tranquility, I went to Amazon to see what top reviewers are saying about it. One reader's review caught my eye. I want to consider their review and use it as input to explore some lines of thought with OpenAI's ChatGPT. Notice how my prompt asks for a classification of the reader's review text. The prompt also asks for a summary. We'll get good results from this, but I might do it differently as part of a real-world solution. Imagine we build a system to operate in bulk on many book reviews at a time. In that case, we should do the classification first on each review. Then, we would follow up with the summary LLM prompt if a given review shows a positive sentiment. We would test some other prompt to tease out learnings in the case of negative book reviews. I encourage you to pause and rewind the video anytime you want. Be sure to catch details as the responses scroll by. This prompt is meant to tease out ideas for what makes this book terrific. According to both the text found in the reader's review and what I expect is the LLM incorporating some of its general knowledge about the world from its training data. It surfaces up ideas around action-adventure sci-fi. This is in my prompt because I bought and read the book and have some ideas I want to think through. How would a highly curious reader or a potential novel author engage in these questions in a world before ChatAI? I don't know. I suppose you'd have to be lucky if you could find people with a common interest, like a book club or a school. Discovering community is always a win, but maybe you don't live nearby one. Do you want AI to help people in this way? I do. I think it's amazing. My goal, working with ChatGPT, is to see what generative AI can do with data it's never seen before. Remember, an LLM, a large language model, is an AI system that can work with written human language. I want to bring in more detail to help me think through what makes this book special. Sea of Tranquility is published by Vintage Books, which appears to be owned by Penguin Random House. How does their website briefly describe Mandel's book, especially given how intricately detailed I found it? Offering the synopsis motivates ChatGPT to rethink its previous responses. Given more information in text too, it can decide to pull out new summary insights. Do I want to copy this book? No. Emily, the author, has done a fantastic job writing an enjoyable book. It doesn't need to be rewritten. This is about analyzing what makes this book good for anyone who is engaged in critical thinking. Surely this is a useful chain of thought exercise for someone considering how to improve their own writing. Humans are always inspired by someone working at the top of their craft. This new part about actionable advice is really interesting. These are universal techniques that can be applied by writers, maybe not just for novelists. Any industry professional at any big enterprise should try leveraging some of these for their business writing. Test and learn. How does this help you be more awesome? This prompt asks the LLM to brainstorm a story idea by considering both the review text and synopsis text 2 already fed into it. Although that information is pressed through the influence of legendary mythographer Joseph Campbell. I tried this out of curiosity. You'll see by the response, it looks pretty good. To do this over, for real, we should write our own original synopsis, character, plot, villain, theme, and all the creative building blocks necessary for a good story. But, for now, in this case, we continue to hypothesize why we enjoy the book Sea of Tranquility. An author beginning their pursuit can look at this prompt and response and decide for themselves how ChatGPT, as a brand new tool, can help them be more creative. See what's possible. Try it out. Discover if it's useful for you. My next prompt is more complicated. It continues the topic of writing a book, but mixing in a request to brainstorm the disciplined practice. I want to be intentional about the work. In reality, the hard work is a rewarding part of a creative process. Building something big, putting in effort just past what I think I can achieve, is challenging fun. It's how I grow. A tricky part of this prompt is pulling in references to authors I know from reading their books or listening to interviews that specialize in performance. I don't mean to be a hyper-focused grindset bro, but having coaches willing to make me better is a huge advantage. Most of the time, we're not fortunate enough to have people like that in our lives. People pushing us to accelerate in the right direction. We can always turn to books, written by experts in their field who offer the best collected wisdom for our benefit. Living into some of this advice will make anyone more effective. If you like what you see at a high level, dig deeper. Go find the books that these authors wrote. Put their lessons into practice. All of this, so far, is thinking, in collaboration with artificial intelligence, which is bizarre to say out loud. I'll tell you this, writing a book is a joy. The hard work feels like play. That's when you know it's right. Selling a book is truly a grind. From the little I know of it, a small or mid-sized publisher often doesn't have a lot of budget or resources to push your work forward. I know this because I'm happy to say I'm a published author. I was fortunate enough to have my book, Responsive Web Design Toolkit, printed and sent to bookstores in 2016. It was an amazing milestone. I'll tell you this, getting the word out in an organized fashion is so important to the success of a book. I did okay, but I knew I could have done better. Given that, and thinking about this topic with you, I wanted to ask ChatGPT what it knows and advises. How does an engaged and thoughtful author build awareness and community? An LLM-powered AI is only going to answer the questions you ask of it. In this case, it's asking about a campaign to socialize and market a potential book. Now, when you see all these answers from ChatGPT flying by, don't forget you can dig deeper into any topic. Ask it for a follow-up to gain a richer, more actionable insight. And you're not going to bother it. Computers thrive on routine. They stand ready to serve. And this is important, knowing what to ask. You know how it goes. Writing questions is key. Writing really sharpens what I think about a subject. If I don't know what to write, it's a signal I need to do more reading and listening. ChatGPT has offered a highly detailed social media campaign. I hear from people all the time, how do I trust AI? Evaluating any proposal requires a systematic approach. You want to consider the quality of the research, the logic of the proposal, the feasibility of execution, and how well the plan aligns with your company's goals and resources. I wondered if I could think through with ChatGPT the business side of writing a book. For everyone who is an artist, well, they must follow their intuition. They live to create. Admittedly, I'm keeping an eye on the commercial side in an attempt to fund my creativity. It's not like I'm some huge fan of KPIs and SMART goals either. They just popped into my head as I approached this part of the conversation. As a reminder, think of these responses as a first pass. Follow up with a new question to take a deep dive into any point you want more details about. I'm not at a point where I do what the AI tells me to. That said, I'm taking notes on how to approach sales and marketing. I can guess this is leading me in the right direction. Being who I am, I want to use modern technology to deliver working solutions to problems that people have. That's my goal in this video, demonstrating how we might apply generative AI to deliver something you want to use. My approach is taking on the persona of a curious reader or potential first-time author. Notice my prompt. It's asking our chat AI to provide answers, first, around publishing a book. Writing for other people, how do I get my work out to them? Secondly, my prompt mixes in a request for advice around finding an editor. Writing is a solitary affair. An editor can be a key teammate, one who is semi-impartial, but a trusted partner nonetheless, to raise the level of quality and raise your expectations. Looking at this ChatGPT response scrolling by is stunning. Who on their team wrote the list generation code? They nailed it. I say someone wrote the code. I'm not sure that it works that way. I can't imagine how it actually is implemented. It doesn't lose count. It has child level, unordered bullet lists. It shows highlighted subheadings. It's all really phenomenal. We don't need to write this last prompt, but as humans, we know life is tough. Let's choose to be kind whenever possible. But look how the chat AI is kind in response. It offers supportive encouragement with respect to my writing interest. What a lovely detail. Okay, cool. By now, you can tell I have a lot of fun working with ChatGPT. From my perspective, it's one of the most interesting technologies that I've ever seen. What have we learned? For sure, we better understand underlying capabilities of the LLM. We also saw ways to apply this technology to address real-world opportunities to benefit people. We started simply enough. That I enjoyed reading a book called Sea of Tranquility, that I was motivated by text from a reader's positive book review, that I leveraged the publisher's story synopsis, and loads of curiosity around what makes a fantastic book. Gain more success in your future by starting to play around with GenAI. Concretely, tools like ChatGPT, Google Bard, Anthropic Claude, Meta Llama, and many other LLMs are available for you now. Start practicing with these tools today. Build your skills and accelerate into the future. I hope you found what I shared today to be useful and interesting. Drop a comment, like, and subscribe. Share this video with someone who will benefit. Good luck and have fun. I'll see you next time.